As we continue to take you across the various parts of South Africa, marking this very special day, Heritage Day, we take you to the Matsamo Cultural Village, located in Jeppes Reef near the Eswatini border, which has come back to life this Heritage Day after months of being closed. Our reporter Mweli Masilela joins us live from there. Mweli, we are monitoring the activity coming out of that cultural village as the Swati people's way of life is being explored in all its facets. What's happening there as we speak?
Ngimasilela ngivunganze ngumsekelave imvudlane ngane umkhemetelwane ngathi khemekeme kancane kuyenela ngimalingela muju fukapi. Those are my clan names as we are celebrating Heritage Day today, and as you can see just behind me, it's a lot of people who are gathered here to celebrate this day in different ways. What we have seen just recently, all the people that attended this event have just had a meal, different types of traditional food. You can talk about grilled mealie meal, you can talk about boiled mealie meal, you can talk about some dried peanuts, like everything is found here. Just now there's just a few speeches that are going on here. The president of the traditional leaders here in Mpumalanga, the chairperson, I mean, of the traditional leaders here in the province, leading the procession, the event currently. So we're expecting that after these speeches there will be some dance and song here as traditional groups will be performing.
What makes the Swati people different? I mean, in terms of their attire, in terms of their cultural practices, what is it that makes this colorful culture stand out?
I think besides their traditional gear, the Swati people are known of respect, and that is why most of the people who, because it's not the first time I'm coming to this cultural village, the last time we captured the story of many tourists passing by this cultural village, interested in knowing about the Swazi way of life, and the people who have been actually in charge of this cultural village, they are not happy now that international travel is still not allowed. So they are hoping that once it's allowed again, they will start seeing those tourists trickling in. But as I've said, it's mainly about the rich background. Just a few minutes ago, the men that are here attending this event were told as to how to build a proper home, which means that it's not only about the traditional regalia, it's also about how to make sure that as you build a home, there is that respect at home. There's also respect in wherever place you go. So those are some of the things that are coming up here, as people are gathered here today.
And with the lockdown being in place and the tourists not being able to reach this cultural village, how has it impacted the way that the village runs in terms of its finances and employing staff members?
I was speaking to one man who has been in charge of this area for a long time here. In fact, what he is saying that, like all his life, he has never worked anywhere except this cultural village. So the COVID-19 pandemic came as a shock to him and his family, because they now had to find some other means of survival. Hence, they are saying now at least that the MEC for Arts, Culture and Sports here in Mpumalanga is here today. They are getting an opportunity to relay to her some of the challenges they've been facing, and they're actually busy also with art and craft here. So there's quite a number of items that they are making here. So they're hoping that even today there are people who are going to buy their stuff, because it has really been dry. And looking into this area, also, they are hoping that in terms of local people, they'll be getting support, but many people haven't been coming through. So that is why they decided to close completely, but they are hoping that very soon things will come back to life again.
And a little bit about the experience of being at that village, Mweli. I know that a little later on there will be a tour, and you'll get to get a sense of what that village is about and what you can learn from it, and really just getting an understanding of the Swati way of life. Let's talk a little bit about the structures that are there, the huts, and what would it be like for someone to visit that area in terms of the experience that you get out of it.
I think the overall village, for the structure and the setup, like everything, it's influenced because you know that we are very close to the border here, the Jeppes Reef border post. So almost everything that is happening, it's something that I've experienced in the kingdom of Eswatini. The traditional huts, they're using only stick and grass to build that house. So even you look at the door, you can't get into that hut walking or standing. You have to actually kneel so that you can get into that house. And they're also telling us stories that way before, Swati men, they used to have many wives. So it's important that in your home that you have as many huts as possible. And actually, we are told the man of the house will have his own hut, so that he will decide as to which of the wives he is visiting during that particular day. So those are some of the things we are learning. And actually, in terms of girls growing up, they are also being taught as to how to make sure that once they leave their home or they get married, they are being taught everything from this particular area. There is an area here that they will teach you as to how exactly do you go about doing all those things. So I think it's a lot that you can actually learn by visiting this cultural village in terms of the Swati way of life.